Good afternoon. I'm Cal Gould. Again, we're here doing another discussion with a longtime individual. It's been an individual that's been involved with ball hockey for a long time, and we're going to get to know him and get some understanding of what the sport meant to him. So please let me know your name and where you are from.
My name's Dan Slupek. I'm from Edmonton, Alberta, and I currently reside in a suburb of Edmonton of Sherwood Park, Alberta.
What are some of your early memories of playing unorganized ball hockey or street hockey or, even floor hockey, anything like that? Do you have any early memories of that?
Well, I got some really good memories of, I guess we used to call it the backyard hockey league. And in Edmonton, we have back lanes in a lot of the communities, in the older communities. And we used to play a lot of backyard hockey or lane hockey, I guess, back lane hockey. And I remember it was behind the Hiraxi home, and they were a family, a big family in Crestwood. And Jerry Hiraxi would organize it. And my one brother would play, Jerry, and then a bunch of the community friends would come and play, and we'd play. I remember playing almost every Saturday. We'd play in the back lane, and we just, like I said, we had a nice organized kind of league almost, like it was really cool. And what's kind of neat is this Jerry Hiraxi, who kind of organized this backyard hockey. He is now with the Edmonton Elks football team, and he's sort of an events coordinator, and he goes to the Grey Cups and coordinates the breakfasts and everything now. And so he's kind of grown into that position later in life like that. So it's kind of neat that it was started like that. And, and other memories of that was, I have three older brothers, and they were all into hockey too. And we had, of course, in Canada here, it's cold and we have ice in the winters, and we had a backyard rink at my house, and we'd play all the time in the backyard. And one really cool memory I have is playing at the Crestwood Community League, where the tennis courts were, and we had a bunch of the neighborhood kids, and we had a tournament I remember the Kelpises. Cal Gould might have even been there on that one. I don't know if he remembers that. He might have been. People like Henry Federici. He was and he was a broadcaster for ball hockey. I think it was called Ball Hockey Update. And Henry, he was he had a talent for talk, that's for sure. And so, yeah, that's some of my early unorganized memories, and of course playing, at school a bit and stuff too, right, in the gym and that. But yeah, a lot of cool, fun, excuse me, unorganized ball hockey just growing up and playing in the back lanes and stuff. It was great stuff. Yeah.
Did you play any organized sports before you became involved in organized ball hockey? Any sport whatsoever?
Oh yeah, like I was very heavy into hockey. Yes, organized hockey. So I played for the community in, like, when I was really small, and I believe I started organized hockey. I was about 5. It was called Little Richards, playing for Parkview community, and then I went to the Knights of Columbus and played Might A for Annunciation. Then I had a year of playing for Crestwood, actually, again in Pee Wee. I just played 1 year of Pee Wee. And then I played underage Bantam AA in Edmonton for the Canadian Athletic Club. So I played underage that year. And then I went to it was called Major Bantam, which would be called Bantam AAA now, I guess. Well, actually, I don't even know if it's called Bantam anymore. I think they've changed all the names. I think it's like whatever, U14s or U15s, maybe. But yeah, it was Bantam back then. Yeah, so I played, and then I played for Genstar for the Canadian Athletic Club for 2 years in Major Bantam. And I had some personal success too with these teams, right, as well. Like we had great teams, had a couple players that made NHL from these teams and everything. And a big memory I have from playing Bantam, Major Bantam, is I won the city scoring championship. Yeah, so that was really cool. And then from that, I went and played, it was called Major Midget. So midget AAA, I guess it would be called now. And I played for the Anavets for the Canadian Athletic Club. And I played for the major midgets. I played for a few years. I played 3 years with them. So I played as an underage again, and then a couple more years. Yeah, and so that was, I was, traveling throughout the province. It was, a great experience, but it was it was time consuming, right? Because you're traveling in the middle of the week, going to Red Deer on a bus, and you have school the next day, etc. It's you're young and you are traveling all over, and you got school, and it's but it was, experience that I'd never take back. It was great getting to know these guys and getting to know people and being part of that life. And then what else? Well, with hockey, yeah. And then I also played and then I went to Team Pacific. I was recruited for Team Pacific, which was Alberta and BC, and we were going to play against the Russians. Played for that. I went to the Nipawin Hawks for a short stint, and that's when I kind of decided that I didn't have the passion anymore to pursue hockey as a career, let's say. So I came back and I came and played junior B, and I went to school. I came in and went back, then went to school. And I had lots of fun playing junior B. Yeah, that was, it was a good experience. It was a lot of fun, because it wasn't as intense as the AAA and stuff, right? So, but again, fun stuff. Played for the Allied Flyers, we were called. And again, I just great times. I won the Wayne Gretzky Award during that time with the Allied Flyers. And so we went to the Western Canadians, which was great stuff. And I made first team all-star in the Western Canadians and stuff. So it was great stuff. Met Rob, got to know Rob Dahm a little bit, and he had some NHL experience with the Oilers and stuff like that. So it was, kind of neat meeting these people and stuff. And I also played soccer. I played organized soccer. That was all community for Crestwood. So I played community soccer up until grade 9. And then I played high school soccer for St. Francis Xavier High School, which was, fun. And those are the 2 organized sports that I played. But I played a lot of other sports just around, like a lot of tennis and golf. And I still golf to this day, which is, a lot of fun. It's great stuff. But yeah, so before ball hockey, That was like my hockey, and so yeah, it was great, good fun stuff. Yeah.
How did you join the ball hockey league that you first played in? And by that, what I mean is, did you join with some friends? Did you get invited by somebody? Did you answer a newspaper ad? How exactly did you get involved in the organized ball hockey league that you first played
I
in?
first got involved with ball hockey. It was through a friend, um, and he was a family friend. I've known my whole life, and he was friends with Malcolm Stinson. His name's Jerry Collins, and he said, "Why don't you come and play ball hockey? Why don't you come? Well, just come try. This I'm playing, and why don't you come out?" And I was great. I was 17, I remember, when I first started. So I was actually underage, apparently. That's what I understand now, that I was underage. But yeah, so I started when I was 17. I still remember, though, my very first introduction to it was at Victoria Composite High School in Edmonton. And we were in the gym, and there's just a bunch of guys in the gym, and just playing floor hockey, whatever. But it was people that were, I guess, checking out to see if you're going to play this organized ball hockey, right? But I thought, when he told me, "Okay, come play ball hockey," I'm like, okay, well, it's just this playing floor hockey in a gym. And then he said, "Well, why don't you come play for this team? Why don't you come on out and play for this team?" And it was actually in hockey arenas, right? I had no clue, like, seriously, I had no clue about it, really, that it was disorganized in hockey arenas, And so I went to the first team I played for. They were called the Edmonton Playboys. Yeah, and they were run by Malcolm Stinson at that time. And I still remember the first game we played. It was against a team called the Legendary Arrows at Tipton Arena. And there was a line brawl. And I was like, what is going on here? I couldn't believe it, right? And, I'm 17, and these guys, like, they're quite a bit older than me, a lot of these guys, So I was just like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Like, seriously, what is going on? But you know what? Played that game, and I fell in love with the game right away, right? I loved playing. I'm like, this is the neatest thing, playing in a hockey arena, playing ball hockey in this hockey arena. Like, I loved it. So, yeah, that was, and I played for a long time after that. Yeah.
You already answered a couple of my next questions, and one of them was like, how old were you when you first played, that sort of thing, or the players that you played with the same age, and what was the name of your first team? How long did you stay with the Edmonton Playboys, and what were the names of some of the other teams that you played with, if you did play with others?
With the Edmonton Playboys, I played. Let's see here. I'm gotta think of how many years here. So it must have been about 1986 to at least 12. I think it was about 12 years with the Edmonton Playboys. I think that's how long because the team disbanded after some time. But some of the other teams, I remember the Legendary Arrows. There was a team called the Blitz. The H2O Lounge was a team in this Edmonton Ball Hockey Association. Of course, there was the Leduc Running Rebels were a team, and a powerhouse team were the Edmonton Nordiques. They were a juggernaut, right? Like, they had a lot of players, a lot of great players. And they were definitely a challenge every time you played them. That's for sure. I'm trying to think. That's in the Edmonton Ball, and then we played some we were Division 1, and then there were some Division 2 teams. But I'm not. Oh, here's a team, Ukrainian Nationals. There was a team that I remember from, I think they were Div 2, I think. I don't remember any of the other Div 2 teams or anything like that. But yeah, so those are some of the teams, yeah.
In comparison to the other organized sports that you have played, like other than ball hockey, what was your impression of the ball hockey organization that you were involved with, the league? What was your impression? You already mentioned earlier you were quite surprised how organized it was.
So there was 2 leagues when I started. There was the Edmonton Ball Hockey Association, which played out of Tipton mostly. I think we played in Santa Rosa a little bit, another arena in Edmonton, and then I'm trying to think of any other arenas that we played in. And then, of course, there was the Capital City Ball Hockey Association. But so mostly with the Edmonton Ball Hockey Association for the first, I don't know, it must have been 5-6 years with the Playboys that we played in the Edmonton Ball Hockey Association. It was well run. It was always well run. I found that there was always referees. There was always timekeepers. There was they kept the statistics very well, right? There was always updated statistics for us to check. Any kind of I guess like suspensions or anything, they were always upheld and everything. So always seemed very, very organized. And then when we merged with Capital City Ball Hockey, and for a few years we still played in hockey arenas, like some more hockey arenas in Edmonton. Like Coronation Arena was one of the ones we played in a lot. It was, again, very well run, very well run. It was always, like I said, everything was always organized. Always, always referees were always there on time. Timekeepers, etc. Like, again, statistics. City championships, provincials, like any kind of playoffs, very well organized and always on time. For something that is this type of league where you're dealing with people that are like, compared to, I hate to do comparisons a bit, but let's say comparing to a men's hockey league, ice hockey league, it was, like, it was just top notch. The ball hockey just seemed more organized, and the times that you played were very good. You weren't playing at 11 o'clock on a Sunday night. You had very good times to play the sport. So just always very well run and organized.
Let me ask you this question. Were you involved in the sport of ball hockey in any other way, such as a referee, a coach, manager, executive, volunteer, anything in that matter?
You know what? No, I was always just a player. I never got into any kind of other positions with ball hockey. It was just playing, and that's it.
Now, there are multiple levels of play in the leagues. You did mention Division 1, and just for our viewers here, sometimes it's referred to as Division 1, Tier 1, or men's A level. Is that the highest level you played at throughout your sport? Or did you play any other levels or any co-ed ball hockey?
No, I only played Division 1 or Tier 1 or men's A. That's it. That's the only level I ever played in. Never played in any of the other levels at all.
Did you get to play in any provincial, regional, or national tournament?
Played in multiple provincials. I don't even think I can count how many provincial finals that I played in. At least, I'm going to say at least 15 provincial finals, won the provincials. I remember we won the provincials at least 3 times with the Playboys. Played nationals. I played nationals. I'm gonna say I played 1, 2. I think I played in 7 national championships. I might be 1 or 2 off on that. I still remember the first one was in Vancouver, and my last one was in my last nationals was in Calgary, I believe. Yes, in Calgary. And had some success. Well, I don't know if that's not the question, I guess. So yeah, so played in multiple national championships, got to see the country, went to quite a few different spots. Toronto, St. John's, Newfoundland, Calgary, Vancouver, Edmonton had nationals.
Let me ask you this question. It's kind of a 2-part question in a way. Do you have favorite memories of ball hockey as an individual, and any favorite memories as a team? Any specific memories?
As a team, would be the first time that we finally beat the Edmonton Nordiques to qualify for provincials. I think that was, as a team, the Edmonton Playboys, we finally overcame their dominance, I guess. We finally got to beat them. That would, we had some other successes, of course, at nationals. We won a bronze and a bronze medal in Ottawa. That was another nationals that we won a bronze medal. And then we made it to the gold medal game in Montreal, and we got the silver, lost to Ontario, I remember. And yeah, personally, that nationals in Montreal, I was given voted on as a first team all-star in Montreal. It was just, I had a great tournament that year, and it just, everything was falling into place. We just couldn't get that first gold medal for Alberta and Edmonton. So, but that, yeah, personally, I think that was the high point for me. Yeah.
I've talked to some other players. This is not an actual question per se. And I've had them tell me that some of them actually playing so many years, they were actually in some of their prime was in their later years. Like you were just mentioning, the one in Montreal there. Like, in other words, some players might be at their prime from that 25 to 30-year-old range. I've heard some people say that even over the age of 30, they were in their prime shape of playing the sport, or at least mentally and physically combined. Would you agree to that statement, or when was your best years of ball hockey?
Well, I started so young that I found that I was probably in my later 20s were probably my best, like my most productive years, I guess, or, the years where I kind of offensively or just learned the game a lot better and understood it more. So late 20s for me. In my 30s, I found that, yeah, you learn, the game a lot more. It kind of slows down for you a bit. But I know that there's certain players, the older they got, they seem like they did improve more the older they got. But for me, it was sort of that, probably 20, later 20s and early 30s for me.
Yeah, not everyone has the same, I guess what you would call it, the prime of their sport. Now, are you still involved in ball hockey in any way, or do you plan to be involved? Or if you were involved, do you expect to be doing it for a period of time?
No, I'm not. I'm not involved. So, family life kind of took over and stuff. So I didn't really have the time to get involved with it in any level. And so my girls, they didn't get involved in the sport. They're doing other sports. And if they would have, I would have liked them too, but they didn't. So, and living out here in Sherwood Park, I know that there is ball hockey in Sherwood Park here. I believe they started a new league a few years ago of ball hockey here in Sherwood Park that I heard about. And I had mentioned it to one of my girls to see if she wanted to get involved, but it didn't happen. So yeah, I'm not involved in ball hockey right now anymore. Yeah.
Okay, well then that actually just brought me to my next question. Do you have any other family members that play ball hockey? You mentioned you have older brothers earlier. Do you have any other family members that played or are interested in playing?
Two of my brothers, well, actually, all three of my older brothers did play a little bit. My one brother, Daryl played for the West Stars a little bit. And then my brother Ken, he played for a team. They were called the Edmonton Brewers. He still talks about playing for that team a little bit, right? So yeah. And then my brother Shane, he played with me for the Playboys. He played for a few years. Yeah. And he got the win. I think he won one of the provincial championships with us and stuff. So yeah.
What advice would you give to someone if they wanted to play the game of ball hockey?
Okay, well, the advice would be that you have to be able to run. You have to you got to remember, it's not ice hockey. Don't play it like it's ice hockey. It's not. It's a lot different. You have to a memory I had when I first started was how hard it was to run up and down the rink. I still remember having shin splints that were so sore from the first times I was playing, and it just unbelievable how much like the stamina you need to play. And so the biggest advice, just don't think it's it's ice hockey. Don't play it like it's ice hockey.
I like that. That's a very good way to put it. Of course, everyone has already mentioned that it's not like ball hockey is not like ice hockey because you can't glide, and that's one of the. You can't glide to the bench or glide back up the ice. You have to run back to get into play. Walking gets you nowhere.
No.
So yeah, that's a good point that you made there. All right, here's my next question. Is there a person, if they were here right now, that you would want to thank for getting you involved in the sport of ball hockey?
Well, yeah, I guess I would thank. I'd like to thank. Well, I can thank more than one person, I guess. I'd like to thank Jerry Collins for introducing me to get involved with the Edmonton Playboys. I'd like to thank Malcolm Stinson for bringing me in on the team, and he kept he kept the team very well organized. Every year he was the one that had to get everybody collect the money, etc. It's not always easy organizing these teams and getting enough players to have a team. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to get a team together, and especially a successful team. So I'd really like to thank him for always getting players and keeping it going. That's a big thing. He really just he had a passion for the game, and he just kept he always just kept that team going all the time, and it was great. He so big thank you to Mr. Malcolm Stinson.
What do you see or hope to see for the future of ball hockey?
Well, like I see, like for Edmonton, it represents ball hockey so well. I wanted to keep it going the way it's going. I haven't been involved for quite a while, so I don't know exactly the numbers or anything like that. But it seems like it's continued and it is growing still. And there's national success from Edmonton now. The team has won, a couple of national championships. So that's great to see. And internationally, a lot of players have been able to go and compete for Canada now, and it's wonderful to see that kind of stuff, to see that there's world championships, organized world championships, and having this Canadian Ball Hockey Association that runs it, and it's just it's hard to think that it did get to that level for me anyways, right? That it made it internationally and into world championships. To see it, who knows, if it ever became some kind of Olympic sport, let's say, it would be just amazing. It would be unbelievable. If that was ever achieved, who knows? Maybe it will. You never know.
Well, your insight on that is not far-fetched, because it has been mentioned numerous times. It's no longer a whisper. It's actually become a valid discussion at many levels. Even the other players I've interviewed have all mentioned it, and I prompted a few others that didn't know that's really the way it might be going. But there's some hesitation, or some that don't think it will reach that level, and there are others that say that's the only real avenue that is next. And of course, I think that would be optimal. I mean, I don't know if there's any higher level you can go after that. Do you get my meaning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for it to reach that level, it would be phenomenal. So hopefully one day, you never know, right? It's would be amazing to see that. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know quite a while back, we had in the 80s, this is how early we were, in the 80s, late 80s, mid to late 80s. And Steve Posovic had first made his phone calls to he was the president of the Canadian Ball Hockey Association at the time, and he had made phone calls to other countries, and they had, talked about creating an international body, and that finally did come around. But one of the things that they always kind of poked at was, if we can get some world championships going here, we can get this into the Olympics,
Yeah.
But there's certain requirements to get into the Olympics. And, some of the challenges are the number of countries that are involved. One of the rules is that the sport is supposed to be played on 5 continents. Americas mean North and South America, so I would automatically Americas count. But even though there isn't a South American team that's out there, I think the closest to South America is Bermuda, and I think that's about it. The rest of the international countries that are being represented that are obscure, I'll call it that, because you would never expect them to be in it, are countries like Hong Kong, Greece, Pakistan, Bermuda, of course, England, Britain is in there, and a few others. Others have speculated that it's simply just transplanted Canadians that have started up these teams in those countries, which is true.
Yeah.
for the most part, but the exposure of the sport is still there. Nonetheless, whether it's Canadians that are playing it with their countrymen in those countries, it's still getting exposure and involvement. So I think the opportunity is there for it to grow to that level. It probably would start out as a presentation sport. Like even the great sport of baseball was a presentation sport and never made it to an Olympic level because it's not played everywhere. It's not as common as you would think it is. It's not played in certain countries, that's for sure. But that's certainly something that we all hope for. And if there ever was an Olympics, I mean, without a question, I'll buy that ticket and I'll be there.
It would be amazing.
It would be great. It would be great. Hey, anything else you want to talk about before we close out the any personal perspectives, anything you want to add?
It was ball hockey was a great experience, of playing. I haven't played for a while now. I always said I was gonna play till I was 40. I did quit when I was 40. It was like I said, it was kind of like playing a professional sport, but I didn't get paid. But it seemed like it, that's the way it was run, So it was a great experience, and great memories and friends for life, and and I don't think I could leave this interview without mentioning Mr. Dougie McCarthy. When you mentioned how some players, it seemed like the older they got, the better they got. For some reason, this guy just kept getting better and better all the time. And I was always like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm getting older, getting kind of slower or whatever. And he just keeps getting better and better. I go, like, he just didn't age, right? He was aging in reverse or something, it was just, so it was great to be able to play with him for, all those years too, and everything. And, just wonderful. And getting to know you, Cal and Henry, and trying to remember some of the other names, just off the top of my head real quick, but just all the great memories and fun times with ball hockey, and hard times too. Like it was a hard sport. It wasn't some fun kind of sport where you just kind of you were there, you're battling, like we went through a lot of battles against some of these teams, like the Calgary Bullets. Those were battles, like playing against those guys. And like you weren't going home you're going home with bruises all over your body, etc. Like it wasn't it was hard stuff, right? So but great stuff, that's for sure. And I hope ball hockey continues going, and I hope there's continued success with it, that's for sure.
Well, thank you for your input, Dan. I've had a great time talking with you. I'm glad you could share all of your memories and all of your perspective on the sport. We hope you can join us for future updates on other topics we'll be discussing, and the best to you and your family.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Cal, for thinking of me for this time and interview, and it's been wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.